United 1269, sorry about the delay. Do you have your company 737 on shore final inside?
United 1269, affirmative.
Roger that. Behind the landing traffic, line up one way behind. United 12.
Behind the landing traffic, line up one way. United 12.
Howdy, howdy. Okay. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Let's see what we can do here. Maybe we can get a decent flight in for once. Let's get started with the APU and then the ELT. On the ELT right now.
United 1269, the wind 080 degrees 25, passing 35, runway 07.
The APU started.
Runway 07, clear for takeoff. United 1269.
Good. Windshield heat to low is what we want. And the yaw damper. Okay. Yaw damper is back here. We'll do the stabilizer trim and the Mach trim right now too. Perfect. Let's set our landing elevation. Yeah, let's do that. What is our landing? Actually, let's do our position initialization here real quick. We'll do this stuff. Might as well get our flight plan in here. Going from Sierra Bravo Papa Juliet to Sierra Bravo Echo Golf. Let's have a quick look, make sure everything here looks all right. Can I clear this discontinuity? No, I cannot like that. So I have to do this. Go. Let's have a quick step through these waypoints. What is it doing?
Part of 791, they hold short runway 07.
That looks correct. What about our arrival? Is that RNAV 29? With this transition, if I remember correctly. Hey, Sean, Leafs play tonight, but you have the opportunity to make this the best thing I watched today, no pressure. Well, you know, that could go either way. I mean, the Leafs have been known to not be so great sometimes, but sometimes they're also really good, so. Okay, alright. Sador Lugno.
Southwest 1273, you ready for departure?
Affirmative.
Line up and wait, runway 7.
1273, line and wait, 07, southwest.
Just stepping through our flight plan here to make sure everything looks good. Okay, there, everything seems to be connected together. That's good. Okay. Oh, right, landing elevation. That's what I was doing here in the first place. Let me see. What is our current elevation at this airport? 774. Actually, I think I'm going to fire up Navigraph for that.
United 1269, sorry about the delay. Do you have your company 737 on shore final inside?
United 1269, affirmative.
Roger that. Behind the landing traffic, line up one way behind. United 1269.
Behind the landing traffic, line one way. United.
We're taking off runway 14, so we're going to be taxiing out to that side there. But landing elevation, we are at 774, so let's set it to 780. Gonna take our time on the ground this time. Any challenges you foresee during this flight? Weather. It is cloudy. But the approach is a little bit more straight in this time. I think. I hope. I tried to pick something that was a little bit more of a nice approach. And it is still not ILS, so it's still just RNAV. Which really should work just as well, if not more easily, but it hasn't in the past for me, so we will see. We will see. Altimeters set. Take a briefing complete. Okay, let's get our pushback here. Actually, that's not true. Let's do our performance setup here first. Fuel weight I set. What is our zero fuel weight? 56028. 56028. Enter. Let's set all those. There we go. Aircraft. Let's remove the wheel chocks. Now I think. How's it looking behind us? Pretty clear, so we can get some pushback here.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released.
Pushing back.
I should theoretically be allowed to steer this thing. Actually, we should have our beacon and nav lights on. Hello, Boshini. How's it going? Okay, so we're going to be heading out that way, so I'm going to see if I can steer us. Will this work?
You are clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
This is a little add-on called Pushback Express, which adds all these nice voice things. There's actually voice commands too, but I have not yet been able to make those work. But it does allow me to easily steer the plane in a pushback. That's probably enough before we hit the guy.
Pushback complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Parking brake set.
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the equipment is clear. We will see you on the left side with the pin.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks. Have a good flight. See you later.
That's really all we need out of Pushback Express. Let's go back to our checklists here. APU is on. Takeoff data. Actually, let's do that. Azul 4102 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Azul 4102 is cleared to Sierra Bravo Echo Golf. Climb via the South Australia DOR1 departure, with the SATA transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 14. Climb to flight level 090 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 5 minutes after departure. Squawk 4323.
Azul 4102 is cleared to Sierra Bravo Echo Golf. Climb via the SADOR 1 departure, with the SADOR transition, then as filed. Climb to flight level 090 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 5 minutes after departure. Squawk 4323.
Azul 4102 read back correct. Altimeter 2992, let us know when you're ready for pushback.
Altimeter 2992 Azul 4102.
Well, we've already done the pushback. So let's get our engines started here. The number 2 engine first. Apparently there's lightning
United
outside.
1269, sorry about the delay. Do you have your company 737 on shore final inside?
United 1269, affirmative.
Roger that. Behind the landing traffic, line up one way behind. United 126.
Behind the landing traffic, line of way, United 12.
Alright, that engine is started. Let's fire up engine number 1. Once this is spun up, we're going to turn off the APU. We will start we'll turn anti-ice and pitos on, because it does look like it is a wee bit cloudy out there. How many flights is it going to take to get out of Brazil? I know, right? This is going to be our last inter-Brazil flight.
80 degrees 25, gas in 35, runway 07, clear for takeoff.
Runway 07, clear for takeoff, United 1269.
The flight after this will take us out of Brazil, finally. It's just a big country, man. It's a big country. Nose wheel steering armed. Ready for taxi trim, so we'll get to that. Okay. Arm the thrust reversers. Let's get the nav lights on. Oops, taxi lights on rather. And well, we don't need the strobe yet. Azul 4102 ready to taxi.
4102 taxi to runway 14.
Taxi to runway 14 Azul 4102.
Azul 4102 advise when ready for departure.
Wilco
So
Azul
we'll just,
4102.
Head over to the right there. Just check real quick. Sometimes the wheel chocks reappear for some reason, but they're not there now. That's good. Yeah, Brazil is... Oh no, don't want that. What's this? Get back in there. Yeah, Brazil, so Brazil is almost as large as Canada, yeah. I did not realize that either. We totally would have blown the planes and the people behind us away. Like, we literally had them sitting behind our engines as we started them. A little bit of jet wash to wake up those poor people working here at the airport in Tocantins. Guess we're gonna have to go on the runway to get to the end. So we'll get the strobe on. Yeah, so there's lightning. I mean, there's clear skies in that direction. We'll see. There should be some... I mean, we're going to be flying at 38,000 feet again. So we should be able to get out of that reasonably fine. But, you know, I've said all that before, and then things have gone horribly wrong. So we will see. I feel about 80% confident in the departure and getting to cruising speed without too many issues. I feel like I know now what those issues typically are. So we're going to configure our autopilot systems here when we get to the end of the runway and turn around. We'll make sure we get our vertical, our speed that we want to climb in there. We'll probably hand fly a fair bit until we get on track. But we should be, well, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like I have learned some things since our initial a series of unfortunate events that we had the first flight or two. Not you, Siri. Thanks for thinking of me, though. I'm so grateful about the little bit of carpet I put down underneath my chair, so I'm no longer constantly spinning away, especially in these kinds of turns. It's still pretty rough, but it's much better because I'm no longer rolling away. Okay. Set our park and brake again for a moment. So that's interesting that this does not show us.
United 1269.
Did say
sorry
runway
about the
14,
delay.
right?
You have your company 737 on shore final inside.
Okay.
United 1269, affirmative.
Roger that. Behind the landing traffic, line up one way behind. United 1269.
Behind the
So
landing
it looks
traffic,
I guess we're gonna go that way and then turn around. Gonna try to follow that, I guess. Heading book synced. Speed is already set to 152, which is good. We want 8 degrees of flaps for our takeoff. We've got that armed still.
United 1269, the wind is 080 degrees.
Let's check our list real quick.
Runway 07 clear for takeoff.
Runway 07, clear for takeoff, United 1269.
Everything here looks good. Landing lights on, taxi lights off. We'll turn on takeoff mode. And then once we get, we're going to climb at 152. Once we get to about, once we get to about 2,000 feet, we will accelerate to 250, and we'll turn on the autopilot at that point, probably switch over to heading mode, and get us vectored over to our first proper departure. This is another strange departure that has us flying like a really tight hook. Wonder if we can see that on here. Yeah, see, it's not actually showing up here, but we should be departing like this, and then we're flipping around over to Sador. So we're going to do that manually. We'll just take it from here. Let's, everything looks good. Azul 4102, ready for departure, runway 14.
4102 with the calm cleared for takeoff. Runway 14 squawk 4323.
I do need to set the takeoff trim still.
Runway 14 squawking
7.2.
4323 Azul 4102.
So rotate at 140, 133. Okay, let's release the parking brake and let's give her. And like I said, I'm going to hand fly this for a little bit first and see how that goes, because that seems to be the trick in the CRJ, is to hand fly it more than some of the other planes I've been flying. It's looking good. Rotate. You're up.
Southwest 1273, you ready for departure?
Good there. Flaps can come down. Switch to climb speed.
07 southwest.
Let's
Agile 4102, contact Brasilia Center on 135.9. Enjoy.
Center on 135.9 Azul 4102. Center Azul 4102 climbing to flight level 090.
Azul 4102, good morning. Squawk 4323.
Squawk 4323 Azul 4102.
heading mode, climbing at 200. Do we have any speed restrictions here? It doesn't look like we do, so we can probably actually begin climbing pretty quickly here at 250. I'm actually going to see if I can go direct Satyr. Yep. Keeping an eye on our speed. We're climbing pretty rapidly, so we can speed up a bit. We're over 6,000, so let's speed up to 250. And we'll keep swinging us around towards our waypoint here. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Right there looks pretty good. 250, we've got a decent climb rate. We can switch off the manual lead.
Flight level 180.
Perfect.
Climb and maintain flight level
Whoa, 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 why?
180 Azul 4102.
Okay, so this is where it did weird stuff here. Fucking hell, that's not at all what we wanted.
4102, slow to 250 knots or less.
Wilco Azul 4102.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
Why?
200
Okay.
knots, Delta 573.
Fucking hell. So. I don't know why it keeps switching my altitude.
Azul 4102, expedite speed reduction to 250
This
knots.
scrolling thing is just like
Wilco
terrible
Azul
experience.
4102.
Azul 4102, you are off course.
No,
Turn
no,
left
our course
heading
is fine.
304 to return to course.
Heading
Jesus.
304 Azul 4102.
Azul 4102, climb and maintain flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180
Fuck me.
Azul 4102.
Bad things are about to happen here because the autopilot is so fucking buggy.
Azul 4102, turn left heading 304.
Heading 304 Azul 4102.
Azul 4102, you are off course. Turn left heading.
It's taking me this long to
304
get. Okay, we
return
got
to
speed
course.
mode on.
Heading 304 Azul 4102.
We're going way too fast at the moment,
1975.
but it is starting to slow us down.
Bye.
It's weird when I change the altitude on this, it is switching us over to altitude mode. It didn't do that last time. Something funky going on there. I'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. But I think I saved it. Let's check our checklist here real quick. We need to turn off our thrust reversers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving
Okay.
sandwiches.
Sandwiches are being served. After a minor freak out in the cabin, I think we've saved it. The autopilot in this Aerosoft plane is not very good. It's quite buggy. But we're getting there. Back on track. So that was basically the 80% working and 20% almost blew us apart. We almost got to where the thing was going to start beeping at us because we were going to overspeed.
Azul 4102 climb and maintain flight level 260.
Okay, so why?
Climb and maintain flight level 260 Azul 4102.
So if why when I switch here? Okay, now it's working. I didn't actually hear. Azul 4102, please repeat last transmission.
Azul 4102 climb and maintain flight level 260.
6 to right, heading 190.
Right, 190 American 546.
Okay. Good. What are we looking like for clouds? We've got a couple of clouds to go through, then we'll turn off the anti-ice. Should help us climb once we get through this little bit of clouds ahead of us here. Best pilot ever. Yeah. The takeoff is usually easy. It's those transition periods when you have to switch, you know, to a new altitude or change speeds or something like that. That's where things can sometimes go sideways. And more often than not, more often than I'd like, go sideways.
133.7. Have a good morning.
Center on 133.7 Azul 4102.
So this is why we have anti-ice on still, because we're going through this soup.
102 climbing to flight level 260.
Azul 4102, good morning. Squawk 4323.
Squawk 4323 Azul 4102.
Azul 4102 resume navigation.
Resume navigation? Sure.
Azul 4102.
It's alright. We know what you mean.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots after Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
So it's kind of slow climbing because of the, like, we lose a fair bit of power from the anti-ice, but we do have these clouds here, and they do look like they have moisture in them. Plus, what is our outside temperature? Like, well, -10. It's not that bad, but it does look like there would be some moisture in there. So we're just going to keep an eye on our speed and our climb speed. We're climbing at 1 point something, which is fine with me. We're not in like a hurry to get up there. That's one thing I totally forgot again, is the seatbelt signs. For some reason I always forget those. They're not part of the checklist, I think. Passengers are having a good day and would prefer not to die on landing. My thoughts on that? Well, every landing that the plane doesn't explode on is a good one. But I think it seems reasonable that they don't want to die like the last 2 out of 3 times. We will try our best not to have a fatal landing this time. I feel like I can make that happen. 2 hours until our descent. Wow. It's a long flight, boys. It is going to go down a bit because we are going to get some more speed once we get higher altitudes. But still. strange. Why did the autopilot just level out there for a second? Bizarre. So here's the ice that we wanted to avoid, so that's pretty important that we have the anti-ice on at the moment. Way better than the Paw Patrol. That's good to hear. Man, that 5-kilometer bike ride today was, it was fun, but I'm feeling it.
Azul 4102, climb and maintain flight level 340.
Climb and maintain flight level 340 Azul 4102.
Control Delta 387, give the bar 1, Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact via bar 1, Papa 10,000, expect ILS daily for the runway.
Delta 387, right?
Yeah, the flaps are up. Everything looks good. I think we are configured properly. Look at that lightning. Cannot wait to get out of this bullshit weather. Hello, Lily. Welcome aboard. It is a slow climb. This thing does not climb as fast as the CJ4 at these altitudes. See, now it's dropping again. Like the autopilot, every once in a while it seems to like reset itself like that.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
Are you going to climb again? Yeah, it's slowly climbing. Weird. The autopilot definitely needs a little bit of TLC. Though to be fair, like this is one of those things, there's two different ways of climbing, right? Vertical speed and flight level change, or speed mode. And they both, like, you do have to do quite a bit of babysitting in this plane.
Good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, let's hit 2599.
But we do seem to be all right. It's too bad they don't have the weather radar working yet, because I would love to see what altitude these clouds are at. It does look like we should be getting... I feel like once we get out from under these, we're going to be above the clouds that are ahead of us there, so we should have clear skies where we can... Actually, I think I can probably turn the anti-ice off for the moment, give us some more speed, and you can immediately tell, like, we've pitched up. It's got us an extra, like, almost 10% power. And we've pitched way up. Like, you lose an extreme amount of power when you have the anti-ice on in this plane. Now, we may have to... I mean, right now we're between cloud layers, so we should be okay as far as icing.
102 expedite climb to flight level 340.
Oh, now it just switched.
Climb to flight level 340 is your 4102.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14.6.
It just switched to Mach mode and reset our speed, which is why we stopped climbing there for a second. Oh, we're climbing nicely at 4,000 feet per minute. Like the power is significantly different, and I guarantee you that very first flight where things were kind of going all kinds of wrong for me, pretty sure we had anti-ice on the entire time, which cost us it just made all the problems we were having in regards to power and speed that much worse. So I think we're going to come out of these clouds. We're basically going to miss them as we climb up underneath them, and we should be coming out on top of the ones ahead of us. So we should be fine now without any anti-ice.
Contact control 124.1. 24.1, W38, thank you.
Azul 4102, climb and maintain flight level 380.
Climb and maintain flight level 380 is your 4102.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots.
Now we're looking good. No more clouds surrounding us. Just blue skies ahead. We should be up above the clouds that are there. I'm sure they won't be at 38,000 feet. Climbing at 2,000 feet per minute. This is how it should be.
And
This is
Delta
good.
573, contact 1975.
It's a happy pilot over here.
Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
And practice makes perfect in this. Like, it's seriously, every time I've had a flight where I screw something up or something goes wrong, you just got to keep coming back to it and learn from it. Try to figure out what went wrong and do it better. And so far, so good. Oh, and Sean, tomorrow, I'm going to be switching it up, I think. I'm going to be driving a bus tomorrow through Berlin, Germany, in a new game that I'm going to be checking out called The Bus. Which I can't wait for. So I'm going to hook up my steering wheel, my gas pedals, my H shifter, even though I think those buses are all automatic, but I'll do it anyway. That's going to be a different kind of setup, driving a bus. It's actually really fun.
American 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 2546.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
I mean, not in the sense that you actually are a bus driver. Like you manage, you set up routes, you drive the route, you stop, you let people in. You got to give them the correct amount of change. It is a simulator, a bus simulator. So it's not really Grand Theft Auto like. It's much more realistic, actually. But I enjoy that. I don't know why. I've always, like, as a kid, I wanted to be a bus driver for fun. And I've played a bunch of trucking simulators before, which are lots of fun. And I've tried some other bus simulators before, and they're good fun. So I'm actually really excited for it. I'm excited to take a break from flying tomorrow and drive a bus. But I really wanted to get this flight in because A, I want to try to get out of Brazil at some point, and B, I really want to, I want to try to get a decent landing in. Like at this point, I would take a dangerous landing as a success.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Center 13,000, 250 knots, American 2546.
So we are almost at flight level 380. There we go. We have captured our selected altitude. I will go change our speed bug, which is no longer going to be necessary now. I'm going to set it to about 0.75, because that is sort of the speed that I would like to fly at. So once we reach it, we gotta finagle the throttle to get us into a nice, easy, even cruise speed. Yes, exactly. Remember, I can use the whole runway. That's going to be a big thing. I got to manage my approach speeds a little bit better, my landing speeds. I think it will be better. We'll see. I'm kind of hoping that we get a bit better guidance this time with RNAP, but I'm also not. I don't know. The big difference is I'm hoping that this time I can get approach mode to activate, because yesterday or yesterday I guess.
Control Delta 3.
It didn't want to take. Couldn't get into approach mode. So, which means I had to descend manually, and I was basically doing a bunch of extra stuff that was causing me to not focus as much on the actual landing as I probably should have. At least the weather up here is beautiful.
Unit 16.14.1.
4.1.
One thing I'm going to check, even though we are literally hours away from our destination, well, an hour and 40 minutes, I'm going to check the landing elevation at Eduardo Gomes International in Manaus, Brazil. And let's just see, the elevation is 264. We'll set that to 280. The other thing I want to do, and I haven't done this before, is we're going to set some minimums for this thing. MDA.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, let's get 2599.
Oh, we got to watch our speed here too. So I'm gonna pull the throttle back because we are now actually flying at Mach 0.78 already. So while I'm doing stuff to prepare for what happened outside. Oh. Okay. And a decision altitude of, I just saw it, 611. I'll turn the anti-ice back on. Keep an eye on what that does to our engine power here.
Yes, Blue 38. Blue 38 with you, 14.6, climbing flight level 180. Yes, Blue 38, flying to flight level
340. This is a...
Unable flight direction, Bravo, Takeoff. And climb to 340.
Slow scroll to 611. I don't actually know if I'm doing this right or not, but that's what the chart says. Decision height of 611 feet. Lightning at 38,000 feet. I'm not sure about that, man. That seems a little bit off. I guess it's possible. There we go, finally.
Now contact control 148.1. 24-1, JetBlue 38, thank you.
Just going to manage to throttle a little bit here because I want to try to stay at about 0.75 Mach for our speed here. Seems like a decent speed, but because we had to turn anti-ice on, it has definitely sucked out some of the power. I was not really expecting there to be this many clouds here at this altitude. So that's fun.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
That's a good question. I don't know if it compares to other pilots. I know it does keep track of my average landing feet per minute. I don't think it's like a scoreboard, though it might have that. I'm not sure. The website is fshub.io, where that stuff is tracked. Do I see ice on the windshield? Or is that just... Or is that supposed to be raindrops? I guess it's just supposed to be...
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
Cool effects here.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Some shitty weather, man. See, the other thing I could do, Sean, I could have set this to clear skies or like few clouds or something like that to make it a bit easier on myself, but I kind of like the real life weather stuff. It does provide a bit more variety and excitement.
Right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
Playing a game on my phone while I'm flying. This is what real pilots do, isn't it?
American 546, contact 121.2.
21, decimal 2, American 546.
Yeah, I didn't think that they did compare, and I think that's mostly because, you know, everybody's flights are totally different. Like, they would have to find, I guess, the exact same approach and stuff like that at the same airport to be able to actually compare. The game itself, though, Flight Simulator 2020, does have landing challenges in it, and they add new ones every sim update or world update or something. And that one does actually track score and compares it to other players. I haven't really participated in any of those up till now, because I don't know, it hasn't really... For me, the challenge of landing well is, I mean, that's challenge enough. I'm not, you know, I'm not that concerned with getting it right on the center line and stuff like that, but it can be interesting, I guess, for some people. But that is built in, and they usually interesting airports, interesting airplanes, and basically they start you off on final approach, you know, so that you don't have to like fly all the way there. Like, they start you where you're at already, and then they, you know, you just have to actually do the landing, and they'll rate you on, you know, speed, how far off the center line you are, how hard you touch down, you know, all of that. So I'm sure that there are some people that are very good at just that portion of it alone. For me, that's not as interesting. I prefer seeing the world. Come on, Trekker, are you running out of juice, or what's happening with you? Oh yeah, I think it has. Okay. Well, let's get this thing charging here while we're flying, because I do want that probably for my landing. That would be good to have.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2 today.
21-2, thanks, American 547.
Better watch our speed. We're Mach 0.8. See, as soon as I turned off the anti-ice and whoosh, it just starts picking up speed like mad. I feel like about 80 on the N1 was a good target last time. It's hard to keep it at that though, like it keeps rising up. Flying at a pretty good ground speed, 466.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact the upper 1 Papa 10,000, expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right?
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
7 minutes till the next waypoint. We'll be turning a little bit towards the left. Yesterday I found out about an interesting add-on, and I've forgotten the name of it. It's like PAX X or something. That must be for people who are bored with actually operating the aircraft. or they're so good at it that they need a further challenge, and it can add like passenger complaints, emergencies aboard the aircraft. You get a satisfaction rating from the passengers based on, you know, how well you fly the aircraft, all kinds of stuff. It seems really interesting. It's the kind of thing that I want to try out someday. But at this point, I'm still, you know, I'm not too worried about the passenger satisfaction as much as I am worried about their being able to live.
West 599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted,
So,
flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level.
you know, I figure if they're dead, the
340,
satisfaction doesn't really matter.
599.
So it would be better at this point to focus on keeping everybody alive, and then we can maybe later on worry about their actual satisfaction. But it does have some cool audio effects with it. You can have, you know, sound effects for when they're serving food and all that kind of stuff. See, but the thing is, like, there could be like an emergency now, and I saw a video about this where it was like a passenger aboard the plane is having a heart attack, and you have to decide whether you could just continue on or you divert the flight to somewhere else. So it is pretty neat. It would actually be really cool if you're doing sort of like virtual airline flying, where you know, actually try to fly real life routes, maybe. I mean, I do want to do that kind of stuff, but I also, I mean, I started this world tour, and I want to see it through. So I think once I've made my way through every country on the globe, maybe that's when I'll try to satisfy passengers. But it is a cool feature. I like it. Like, it does seem very interesting.
Jet Blue 38. Jet Blue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. Jet Blue 38, flying to flight level 340, unable flight here to Bravo Taco Oscar. And climb to 340.
I don't believe I saw that that was an option. I don't believe you could toss them out the window, out the door. Nope. It was basically either continue on your course or try to find, you know, another airport to do an emergency landing. But when you do that, so let's say, like the clip I saw, they chose, okay, we'll divert, do an emergency landing at a different airport. And there was continual, like, audio updates from the crew to the passengers, where it was like, you know, an ambulance or paramedics will be boarding the plane, please stay in your seats, you know, we will continue on our original flight as soon as we're able to, that kind of thing. So that was kind of neat. Plus, you don't have to have those things turned on either. You can just have a passenger satisfaction rating, which by itself seems quite interesting too.
Jet Blue 30, contact control 124.1. 24-1, Jet Blue 30, yeah, Jet Blue 38, thank you.
Your passenger's unhappy. If you eject them, they're no longer a passenger, so who cares? Yes, technically that is correct. I have some experience dealing with analyzing data, and sometimes when you don't like the data, you just get rid of it. So I guess in this case, if you don't like an unhappy passenger, you just remove the passenger from the equation. That's one way to get your percentages up.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Six-door right, heading 190. Right, 190, American 546.
We were making a turn. Yeah, the autopilot is not that good at like just capturing a new heading and settling down on it. It seems like it often has to make these micro adjustments. Once it's finally found it, it's okay, but it sure does take it a sec sometimes. Let me switch over to the co-pilot view. So I got this set up too. Can sit on this plate of the aircraft for a second.
After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975, after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
Yeah, that is true. There isn't a whole, well, there isn't a whole lot to, you can kind of look at stuff from out here. 38,000 feet. You just don't get like a lot of small details. But I do actually quite enjoy the view. I can't easily look out the cockpit now like I usually do because my track IR needs to be charged, which I'm doing right now. So at this point I'm happy just to let the aircraft fly itself for a little while because it tends to be, it requires so much hand holding a lot of the times that it's nice when it just kind of does its own thing.
American 2547, descend out to 1-3000 and maintain 250 knots.
Then 1-3000, 250 knots, American 550.
Just come here every once in a while to check on the speed real quick.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.26.
21-2, thanks, American 656.
It is a bit quieter on the inside now. It's a bit windy on the outside too. At 38,000 feet, flying at 456 knots, minus 48 degrees Celsius.
This is 387. Good afternoon, rated contact upper 1 Papa 10,000 feet. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right?
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
Yeah. I mean, it told me how many, I used Apple Fitness or whatever. It told me it was not quite 844 kilometers an hour. But I'm also slightly upset because I have, like, in here, if a 5 kilometer outdoor cycle workout, but it somehow did not count it towards my exercise for the day, which seems bizarre because I don't know. I mean,
Unrestricted flight level 340.
that was 49 minutes of exercise. Not sure why it's not counting it towards closing my rings.
Blue 38. Blue 38 with you.
My cycling was super slow actually, because I was riding alongside somebody walking. So I did a lot of like riding forward and backwards, and so, I was doing a lot of short riding, stopping, circling back, riding slow. But it was fun. It's also been a while since this is the second time I've ridden the bike this year, and I think last year I rode it twice, maybe, all year. So this is the longest bike trip I've been on in a few years. But I want to get back into it because I don't like going for walks very much. I find it extremely boring. And I really like biking is easier because you get a nice fresh breeze, you get to, you don't have to pedal constantly. It's a nice kind of workout.
Blue 30, now contact control 141.
24-1, JetBlue.
No, I did not get passed by an old lady with a walker, thankfully. I don't think I got passed by anybody, really. Which is good. I did order a new bike seat, though, because the one that came with the bike it's not bad, but I did some research. There are some better seats for my butt, so see how that goes. It's like we have got just under 500 nautical miles to our descent. And then that seems like a very late descent. Because again, we're going to have to... We capture the RNAV at 2,000 feet. So that's a 36,000 foot difference. Should be interesting when we get there. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing for sure. I used to ride a bike a ton as a kid. All the time. And I wouldn't say I was never particularly daring. But now when I ride, like, I went down through very, very slight hills. Like, not even, you know, it's like maybe a 4-foot differential. But I'm going down very slow. Because, yeah, I'm... You know, I've got the helmet on and stuff. I'm not worried that it's going to hurt me badly, but I don't even want to fall off and scrape something or break something because, I mean, nowadays I can sneeze wrong and throw my back out somehow. So the last thing I need is to fall off a bike. So I was riding very gingerly and very carefully. But it was still fun, and around here there's quite a few bike paths and stuff like that. There's lots of good areas to ride a bike that is, you know, it's like nice level ground, paved even, and, you know, there's some dikes along rivers that are perfect for that kind of stuff. Last year I even bought a little hatch, what's it called? One of those things you can strap the bikes to the back of your car with. Hatch mount thing for 2 bikes, which I haven't even tried yet, but I would like to. So yeah, I'm sure the kids have a blast, but yeah, it is, I don't know. And I'm tall, and I sit relatively tall on the bike. Like, I got a pretty big bike. It's a 29-inch bike. So it seems like just a terrible thing to fall off of it, and I don't want it to happen whatsoever. I had a coworker who last year at some point, he was riding his bike a lot, like to work and road bikes and stuff, and he got into an accident somehow. I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but he was quite hurt for a long time. So, no thank you. I have a sore wrist right now, I believe from typing too much, and that's enough of a pain in the ass. I don't want anything more serious than that.
After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach, American.
The weather is very cloudy in Brazil today. Like yesterday, it was much clearer. And it looks like there's another big cloud front ahead of us, but I think we're going to be above it. Oof, lightning below us. I kind of wish that the little nav map that I have in the bottom right of the stream, I wish that it could broadcast the weather that I have in the game right now. That would be kind of cool. Absolutely. I don't recommend crashing bikes whatsoever. You know, when you're a kid and you fall off something, you know, you kind of just, most of the time it just rolls off you. You don't really hurt yourself, or you bang yourself up, you get a few bruises, but it doesn't really impact you. You get a little bit older than that, and like any kind of strain or bruise or ache, it sticks around forever, and it makes your life miserable, at least in my case. It's like, oh, I tweaked my back. Now life is terrible for the next 2 weeks. You know, as a kid, you fall off something, you like jam an ankle or roll your wrist or something. It's like, whatever, you're fine in 4 hours.
Center 13,000, 250 knots, American 2550.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2 today.
21-2, thanks, American 2550.
Even just sitting here, I have to switch my legs over the other every once in a while so that they don't get sore. So, falling off a bike? Nope. Thank you.
Control Delta 387 to the Barrow 1 Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, rated contact the Barrow 1 Papa 210,000, expect ILSD to the runway.
Delta 387, right?
United 16, so 124.1.
24.1.
Latitude 2599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, let's hit 2599.
Most people that have watched me for a while already know the story of how I broke myself with spaghetti. I got laughed at a lot. This was like bachelor life, you know, laying on the couch, watching TV, eating spaghetti. And, you know, some fell down on the floor, so I'm not even standing and leaning over to pick it up. I'm just like laying on the couch and I turn over to pick it up and I twist it like really awkwardly. And tweaked something in my shoulder, I think, or upper back. Somewhere in a place where I was basically sore for like the next a week and a half or so. It's, yeah, at a certain age, you start talking to like your friends and stuff or coworkers in the morning, and you're like, "How's everything going?" It's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm sore," you know. And previously, it used to be like, "What'd you do?" "Oh, I fell off my dirt bike," or, you know, got kicked in the shin playing soccer or something. But a lot of times it's like, I don't know, I just got out of bed weird.
Blue 38, flying to flight level 340.
Past few years before the pandemic, though, I had been playing soccer on like a recreational co-op co-ed team. And that was a lot of fun. But there, at least that way, when there was little aches and bruises and stuff, there was like a good reason for it. It's like, yeah, you know, like I messed up kind of hurt my wrist for a month or so because I was playing as goalie and I deflected a ball kind of awkwardly and it kind of jammed up my wrist a little bit. And, you know, but at least those are like reasonable complaints. It's the ones where you step out of bed wrong or you sneeze while you're taking a bath or something like that and it somehow wrecks your back. Those are the ones that are a little bit more embarrassing. But I have learned that they tend to happen to people around my age, so it's not that uncommon.
You Blue 30 now, contact control 14611.
24-1, W38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
So in Christmas, I was at my in-laws. We were playing cards. We dropped one on the floor. I bent over to pick up the card and chair. Oh, no, on the floor. It's the little stuff that gets you. It's not even the... And I think it's because we are consciously more careful. You know, like you ride down a bike down a hill, you're being extra cautious to not screw anything up or hurt yourself. But you know, you're thinking like, oh, it's just a playing card on the floor. I'm just gonna go pick that up, and you just go for it. And then for some reason, something weird happens, like a chair breaking, or you throw out your back. Just stuff like that happens because you know it's not really something that you would ever expect. I want to have a quick look here at my...
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
At our descent, whenever that will happen. It's still a ways away. So according to this, we're going to drop down sort of casually, slowly to flight level 339, 286, then 128, 070, and then we're at 5,000, and yes, at 2,000 at Ego 24. Does that jive with the chart? It does. Ego 23, the chart already has us at 2,000. Can we, like... Can we modify this? It looks like we can. Let's see if I can put in 2,000 for Ego 23.
6-door right, heading 190.
2,000. Execute. Oh no.
American 546, contact 121.2. 21.2, American 2546.
No, now it's all broken. Awesome. Huh. Interesting. Let's see, maybe if I load that approach again. Nope. Alright, well, we have lots of time to try and figure this out. What I want to do here is I want to enter in the proper arrival altitudes. Just they're on here.
American 2546.
So that's interesting, actually, because
Mavic after Mavic comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975 after Mavic comply with the approach.
let's see, our star is Kulab 1 Bravo, I think. Yeah. So Malpu, and then EG 012 at 7,000 feet, which I believe I did just see on this previous page here correctly. Yes, 7,000. And then 4,000. That's all correct. And this is all correct as well. I don't know why it says runway 29 at flight level 380. I feel like that I just broke somehow. So let's see if we can fix that, because that runway is at 263.
250 knots, American
263. Now that's a speed. Can I just do /263? Yes. Okay, so that part is all good, but this direct to page, which is the one that gives us the vertical speed indicators, is not so correct. Altitude selected for that, 2,000. It's not doing anything.
Azul 4102, contact Manaus Center on 123.9er, have a good one.
Center on 123.9er, Azul 4102.
I mean, I have time to look at the manual, quite literally.
Azul 4102 at flight level 380.
Azul 4102, good morning. Squawk 4323.
Squawk 4323, Azul 4102.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.23.
21-2, thanks, American 550.
It's weird, it puts it there. But that's not where it clicked. Right? I mean, that isn't where it clicked. Keeps putting it at the bottom on there.
Control Delta 387, give the Barrel 1 Papa 35.
Delta 387, good afternoon, radar contact here, Barrel 1 Papa 10,000, expect ILS Amy to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
Azul 4102, contact Manaus Center on 126.3, enjoy your morning.
Center on 126.3, Azul 4102.
United 164, 1.
Center Azure 4102 at flight level 380.
Azul 4102, good morning. Squawk 4323.
Squawk 4323 Azure 4102.
4.1.
24.1.
Thank you.
Westjet 2599, good afternoon. Climb unrestricted to flight level 340.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340, Westjet 2599.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14.6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340.
Brazil has the world's largest beach at 24,606 feet long. It's the longest country in the world from north to south via land spanning 2,800 miles. Wow. I'm still trying to figure out how, if at all, I can fix this. It's just weird. It like puts it at random places. I mean, this isn't really going to matter for anything because we can just do it without it, but I feel like there should be a way that I can adjust this, but it doesn't. Cancel mod. It's just weird.
24.1, JetBlue 30, yeah, JetBlue 38, thank you.
I do know one thing that we can do that I learned by watching a video, and that is we are going to set a
Speed 200 knots.
radial
200 knots, Delta 573.
on this, and we're going to, so we need to be at basically 200, so it's pretty much 38 times 3 is 114. So there we go, that should have done something if I zoom out. Okay, so that gives us an idea of roughly when we should start our descent. Because our other top of descent indicators here now are completely screwed up because... yeah. I'm gonna try to figure this out still, but I'm not having much luck finding the manual on my phone right now.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Door right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
See it's kind of annoying because the files, like, it doesn't look like they're able to be downloaded on a mobile device. So now I gotta send them over to my streaming PC so I can have a peek at it and see if there is some sort of documentation on how to change the altitudes in that, because it feels like there should be a way to do that. And I would like to be able to do that. FMS guide. To sign in first. I hate forms that make you sign in to download a file. Like, I mean, come on now. Who cares? And I'm not permitted to download the file, which is a real kick in the balls because I bought this plane. But I've heard of this before because I bought it through the marketplace. It like doesn't give you access to it directly. This is the one benefit of having this long flight. We got lots of time to try and figure this out. And if I can't figure it out, it's also not the end of the world.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
American 2547, descend out to 13000 and maintain 250 knots.
Then 13,000, 250 knots, American 2546.
Yeah, so how do we change the altitude at a waypoint? That's really what I want to know.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.2 today.
21-2, thanks, American 2546.
Oh god, this is... Sometimes you find stuff on Google and it's from like, it's from 2012. It's probably not helpful. Not for this anyway.
Control Delta 387, give the Barrow 1 Papa 35.
This is 387. Good afternoon, rated contact via Barrow 1 Papa 210,000. Expect ILS aiming to the runway.
Delta 387, right.
It is a little bit weird that the altitudes are correct in the flight plan, but not on that direct screen. It feels like something should be able to recalculate this. Because here all the legs are absolutely correct. Wonder if I make a small change on here. And then execute that if it's going to reset the direct pages. Sure does. And this time it's still not right. It's still not what I want, rather, but it is back to the way it was. So I thought I could put in a 2000 manually for this point here, but I guess I can't for some reason. That's alright. Ego 24 is the important one to be at 2000. It's the final waypoint. Alright, well, we have fixed the weird thing that we made happen earlier. So, by the way, I'm really happy with how steadily we've been able to hold this speed at like 465 knots. It's been pretty consistent at Mach 0.79 something. So that's good. Happy with that. Looks like we got about... Oh, well, we probably got about somewhere about 20 minutes or so before we start descending. We can have a look at pilot to ATC for something more specific.
Westjet 2599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted to flight level 346.
Well, 128 nautical miles from top of descent to destination.
Westjet 2599.
Somewhere between Ogpum and Kulap is when we're going to start descending.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, and enable flight to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340.
Man, more clouds above us? Holy crap. It's not the nicest weather ever here today.
JetBlue 30, now contact control 14611. 241, JetBlue 30, JetBlue 38, thank you.
radio speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
I like your in-flight meal because I'm having chicken and broccoli pancakes. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I'm about 3 hours away from my post-flight meal. I guess the pilot does not get to eat in the cockpit. Even though I would have liked one of the sandwiches that they were serving earlier. But I'm going to have pizza tonight.
6-door right, heading 190.
Pizza and a movie, and I don't know what movie yet. Seen any good movies recently on Netflix or something like that, Sean? Anything you want to recommend?
Alright, Captain 546, contact 121.2.
21.2, American 2546.
Got another turn coming up in about 8 minutes. That's exciting.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots on the Mavic. After Mavic, comply with the approach. Contact 1975.
1975 after Mavic, comply with the approach, American 2546.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to see what's new on Netflix and stuff like that. Four hours of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, that'll go over well. Maybe not that.
American 2547, descend out to 3000 and maintain 250.
Raya and the Last Dragon, but I think that's like a $30 rental on Disney Plus or something silly like that. I Care a Lot. Watched this the other week. It was pretty funny. A little bit, little dark, but interesting. Unhinged. Oh, I kind of want to see that. Russell Crowe, who just goes bananas. This is a long stream. Holy crap. We've been live now for 2 hours. And we've got at least another half hour to go.
American 2547, contact approach control 121.26.
21-2, thanks, American 550.
Finished Superstore last night. That's a good, fun show if you've never seen it. Well, we'll see what's on later.
Delta 387.
Oh, we're looking on total fuel. We're still looking good. I was a little bit worried because I was starting to say look like it was a bit low when I set everything up. How's the stat go? Yeah, and some people hop in and then they leave because, you know, not many people watch the whole thing. Long streams, it's the opposite of long videos. Long videos don't do well because not many people want to watch a 3-hour video on YouTube, which is totally understandable. But longer streams actually tend to do better because you get people coming in and out along the way. I honestly don't pay a lot of attention unless somebody talks in chat. Like, I don't, if somebody comes in to watch but doesn't say anything, I don't call them out. You know, but if somebody says hi, I always say hi back. And sometimes that's the only thing I hear from them, and other times there's some chit-chat, but it doesn't... part of me just does it because I want to... This is an easy way to save it and record it. Plus, that way you get a chance to see it, and sometimes there's like a handful of people that stop by on a regular basis. But it's usually pretty quiet, which is fine with me. I don't care. It's not a big deal.
United 16 for 124.1.
The streaming setup is not very complicated for me these days. Like, it is not that different whether I stream this or not. The stuff that I have to do to make it work, pretty much identical. So there's very little sort of like overhead or stuff that I need to do to be able to stream my flights. So it's no big deal.
West 2599, good afternoon, climb unrestricted.
Oh yeah, you're definitely special, Sean.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 340,
No doubt about that.
West 2599.
JetBlue 38. JetBlue 38 with you, 14-6, climbing flight level 180. JetBlue 38, flying to flight level 340, for naval flight direct to Bravo Tango Oscar. And climb to 340.
Azul 4102, you are off course. Turn left heading 328 to return to course.
Heading 328 Azul 4102.
Why do we have different... We're not off course. What are you talking about? Oh, we cut the corner a little bit? Is that what your problem is, ATC? Where's the autopilot going a little bit wonky? Trying to get itself aligned with that. It just completely cut the corner, so much so that ATC has decided that we were off course here. GKAG, that's what we were at before. Weird. That's what I'm saying. The autopilot is anything but smooth. Like, it has a very difficult time making simple turns and aligning itself with a new vector.
Azul 4102 resume navigation.
Resume navigation as your 4102.
Love the resume navigation.
Azul 4102 expect the Kula 1 Bravo arrival with the Kulap transition for the RNAV approach to runway 29 with DEG 011 transition at Eduardo Gomez International. After Oakland cleared direct Kulap.
Expect the Kula 1 Bravo arrival with the Kulab transition for the NAF approach to runway 29 with the EG011 transition after Oakland cleared direct Kulab as Azul 4102.
Things are about to get a bit more interesting. My track arrow back on. So I added this nav fix around our destination that is 3 times the altitude we have to lose. And it puts us pretty much in the circle, which is very close to the TOD that it has programmed in there, which is great. It looks like we're going to be descending at about, once we get to Itada, at about 600 feet per minute. So it's going to be a pretty gradual descent. We'll see how that goes. At some point we're going to have to set this VREF speed. We're going to do that a little bit later on when we get closer.
And Delta 573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
Probably start dialing our speed back just a little bit because we are going quite fast. How is the weather looking down there? It's not too bad, I think. This looks ugly, but we're going to be flying around this stuff. I think we're heading over there, so it should be a little bit more open. Some clouds. See, like, the autopilot makes these huge adjustments. It's just like sways around. It really doesn't need to. It's not. It's not very well done.
190 American 546.
Let's have a quick look at checklists here. Where the descent fuel is checked, because radar on off, which we can't do anything. Landing data set. Approach briefing complete.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots until Mavic after...
Azul 4102 descend to cross Kulab at flight level 290, then descend via the Kula 1 Bravo arrival with the Kulab transition to flight level 040 altimeter 2973 at Eduardo Gomez International.
Or cross Kulab at flight level 290, then descend via the Kula 1 Bravo arrival with the Kulab transition to flight level 040 altimeter 2973 Azul 4102.
Mavic comply with the approach, contact 1975.
Kulab is 290, so to get there we have to descend at 2500 feet per minute. At least I think that's how I'm reading that correctly, so that's what we're going to try to do. And then after that, we've been cleared down all the way down to 4,000 feet through those waypoints there. So, yeah, I think I'm up from 1,800 to 2,500 to get to 286. We've been cleared to 290, which is pretty close. So if we aim for that, we should be all right. Right now, this arc is still saying that it's slowly coming down, probably as our speed begins to. Just managing the throttle a bit more here. Don't break the plane. Roger that. Try not to. So far my controls are working, which I'm happy about. Like I spent a bunch of time making this stuff here work. With the goal of not having to use my mouse wheel to adjust things. So it looks like we're still flying quite fast. We're looking pretty good now. Our arc here is right at Kulab. Maybe I can zoom in a bit. That means that our dialed-in altitude of flight level 290 should be reached just before we get there, and we're supposed to cross it at that altitude, so close enough. And then we make our turn and start our descent down to 4,000, which sees us all the way going all the way to the approach. We're going to basically go to 4,000, then 2,000, and then land. So it's a pretty straightforward approach, which is why I chose this one. I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to find an airport to land at that had like a reasonable approach that looked like it might be easy to fly with this plane, because I really want a successful approach and successful landing. So I was trying to take all the craziness out of it, you know, weird loops, 180-degree turns, like all that kind of jazz. I was trying to find something straight in, and this sort of seemed to fit the bill. We'll see. Once we get to the clouds, we're going to have to deal with anti-ice again, which is going to cause a loss in engine power. Or a reduction in engine power, not a loss. We have our minimum set, we have our decision height set, we have our landing elevation set. We have everything set again. We have now reached
expect ILS Amy to the runway.
Our selected altitude. This will slow us down quite a bit, but that's okay. I'm actually going to try to take this nice and easy. And then just checking, so our next one down to flight level, this is on the next page, 2100 feet per minute. So we're probably going to be descending always around somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 feet per minute. Give back a little bit of throttle so we don't like slow down too much here. Don't lose too much power. So now we're leveling out again.
United 16 for 124.1.
24.1.
I see the autopilot actually makes us cut the corner on these waypoints, which is good because I feel like it used to overshoot and then have to really oddly readjust. So we've been cleared for this, so now we're going to go and dial in 4,000 feet. We're going to ignore this crazy sounds. We don't know how to fix those. We can keep adjusting this though. Now we can make the sound stop. Stop it. Okay, and to get to 2100 vertical speed, let's set it to 2100. See how we do. We'll let them throttle a bit more. That should see us go pretty much along this path, like 2200, maybe 2200, so we'll set it to 2200. We're just going to keep an eye on these numbers here. The goal is this 4,100. We've been cleared of 4,000, but basically this 4,000 here, that's our goal. To get there, we have to descend at 2,200 feet per minute, which is what I've dialed in. So we'll see how we do with that. That's a pretty view here. From here on, it's more or less straight in. There's a couple of small adjustments, but mostly straight in. Changed to 2300, so let's adjust this slightly. Keep an eye on that. Malpu, we should be at flight level 120, so that will give us a good, is that a 0 or an 8? 128. So that gives us a good indication. We'll see where we're at when we get to Malpu. It's our next waypoint, and if we're not at flight level 128 or close, we know we need to make some adjustments. No VNAV in this. I mean, it does have a VNAV button, but I don't actually know what it... No, it doesn't have a VNAV button. I swear I saw a video where it had a VNAV button, but it shouldn't. Yeah, because there is no VNAV in this. No, there's advisory VNAV, which is what this is. Like, this gives us the advice. 2400, let's descend to 2500, so we'll get ahead of it a little bit. Let's keep an eye on the clouds, so we know when to turn on the anti-ice when we get to the clouds. Okay, so this is good. We didn't have this last time, or at least maybe I didn't notice it, but see this little blue, they call it a donut, the blue little circle here? That's where we should be at. So the needle is pointing right at it, which is good. So we are on the proper glide slope, glide path at this point. It's not automated, but we are following things the way that we should be.
You have Blue 30, now contact control 14611.
24-1, JetBlue 30, yeah, JetBlue 38, thank you.
Reduce speed 200 knots.
200 knots, Delta 573.
So we can probably slow down our descent a little bit. Looks like it's telling us 2200 will now do, so we'll set it to 2300. About to go through some clouds here pretty soon. Looks like there's rain down there.
573, contact 1975.
1975, Delta 573, good day.
Bye.
So I'm reasonably happy with the speed. Our N1 is around 58. I want to keep that in mind, that number, when I switch the anti-ice on here, because I want to keep the N1 around that same number, and it's going to drop, I think, as soon as I turn that on. Is the seatbelt sign on? Not yet. I guess I could turn it on. It is on auto.
6-door right, heading 190.
Right, 190, American 546.
Now it's on. Okay, so we were supposed to be at flight level 128 at Malpu. We are crossing through 148 right now. I think we're looking okay. Seems like we are on track. Everything is lining up the way that it is supposed to. Broken, definitely some cloud cover there. This does have like some wonky little paths there. We'll see. Hopefully the autopilot doesn't like jerk us around too much. Okay, looks like we can probably go a bit easier on the descent rate there. It's like 2,000 will do. Let's leave it at 2,100. I always like to be a little bit ahead of the ball when it comes to descending, because we can be too low and it's easier than being too high.
Very good, 546, contact 121.
Unless we're way, way too low, of course, which is not what we want. Alright, I'm going to turn the anti-ice on. What is our N1? 54. See, it drops. Dropped quite a bit when we turned that on. I'll have to just play with that a little bit.
American 2546, maintain 200 knots.
About to cross through 10,000, so landing lights on. There was some lovely lightning there. Let's check our descent rate. We should be at about 2,000 or 2,100, so that's good. Things look reasonable. quick look over at our
Azul
checklist.
4102 contact Manaus Control on 119.25. Have a good one.
Approach on 119.25 Azul 4102. Wilco Azul 4102. Approach Azul 4102 descending to 4,000 feet.
Azul 4102 good morning. Squawk 432
Have to slow down because we need to get to below 250 knots really at this point. We're going too fast.
Approach to runway 29 with BEG 011 transition at Eduardo Gomez International.
Continue descent via the Cooler 1 Bravo arrival. For the NAF approach to runway 29 with the EG011 transition as Azul 4102.
Azul 4102 expedite speed reduction to 250 knots.
Wilco Azul 4102.
641 radar contact, descend to 2,000 feet and clear ILS DME2, runway 05.
Let's give it a little bit of speed brakes here to help us slow down.
641, descend to 2,000, cleared for the ILS.
Azul 4102 expedite speed reduction to 250 knots.
Wilco Azul 4102.
Good afternoon, Delta 481, 305, descending via the Delta 1 Charlie Information Whiskey. Good afternoon, Delta 481, radar contact the same bed arrival. Descend via the Delta 1 Charlie, Delta 481.
There's the ground.
Azul 4102 altimeter 29er2 cleared for the RNAV approach to runway 29 with BEG 011 transition at Eduardo Gomez International.
Altimeter 29er2 cleared for the NAF approach to runway 29 with the EG011 transition as Azul 4102.
Okay, let's have a quick look at our performance here. I want to get our VREF speed is 137, 134. So that's our target speed for the actual landing. Once we get closer to this waypoint, I will try to activate approach mode, and hopefully we have a bit more luck with that. We're going to keep an eye on our speed here now. We're going to be leveling out a bit more. That we should really be descending to...
Azul 4102 expedite speed reduction to 250 knots.
See, now it's fucked with my...
Azul 4102.
Color, Mar 404, muy buena tarde, información whisky a bordo.
04, buen día, contacto.
Recibido 404.
Approach mode armed. It's actually on this time. Do need to be going down faster though.
Azul 4102 descend via the EG011 transition to 2,000 feet.
Descend to 2,000 feet via the EG011 transition. Azul 4102.
Azul 4102 altimeter 29er2 at Eduardo Gomez International contact tower on 118.3. Have a good morning.
Altimeter 29er2 tower on 118.3 Azul 4102.
Delta 481 for traffic is
Tower Azul 4102 inbound for NAF approach runway 29.
facing to right.
Azul 4102 good morning. Squawk 4323 continue a nav to runway 29 call when established on final.
Continue NAF to runway 29 will call when established on final Azul 4102.
Oh, there's the snowflake. I see the snowflake. Sweet.
Southwest 1222, we got two visuals for you. The one is the number one is the Cessna Caravan short final for runway 07. You're following me. And then we got an helicopter.
Flaps 10 or flaps 8 rather.
To your left of the trajectory about
Okay, our speed is coming down, which is good. We're on track for our altitude. I see the runway. Runway is in sight. Slightly below the snowflake. Try to just adjust that a little bit. Speed's still pretty high.
Delta 900, take Delta and contact ground point 9, expedited to traffic on shore final.
Delta point 9, Delta.
Altitude captured on that, yes. But at 2,000, we should be able to capture a glide slope here. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Otherwise, what is the runway again? It's like 200 feet? 286? No, 200 feet.
Southwest 122, expedite vacating Delta, contact ground point 9. South 122.
2,000. You're down. Do we have a glide slope captured? We have a localizer captured. I think so. Yeah, we are descending. We are in fact descending on a glide slope, boys and girls. Look at that. That green needle here is pointing at the blue donut. That's what we want. Our speed is just a little bit high. Flaps 30.
Added 1187, traffic vacated the runway at Gulf, Cessna Caravan, wind 070 degrees 30, gusting 40, runway 7, clear to land.
Runway 7, United.
Speed is a little low, but we're looking pretty good now. Gears down, flaps are down. We're configured for landing. I don't think we actually need flaps 45 here. We seem to have lost the glide slope there. Now it's captured it again. That was weird.
Double 604 to 160 knots. Double 6.
Agile 4102, winds are calm, clear to land runway 29.
Yeah, it's lost the glide slope
Clear
completely.
to land runway 29 as your
So,
4102.
you know what that means. I think it's because I didn't give it enough throttle or something like that, so we are... We'll see if we can get this, manage this ourselves here again. Oh shit, we gotta arm the thrust reversers so we can actually stop. Yeah, we're way too fucking high again. It's because it lost the glide slope at some point. I'm not entirely sure why that was. It's weird. Coming in way high. Way high. See, we should be going around at this point. You know, we would actually call for a go around here. I can't even get this thing down. We might actually have to go around. We're gonna have to go around. It fucked us again. In a different way than last time.
Tower United, 1088 ILS.
Let's see if I can tell ATC. Azul 4102 going around.
Agile 4102, execute the published missed approach for a nave to runway 29, contact approach on 119.25 to request another approach. Execute the published missed approach for an after runway 29 approach on 119.25 Azure 4102.
So we're going to hand fly
Approach
this.
Azure 4102 climbing to 2,000 feet.
We're just gonna try to go around here.
4323, turn left heading 123 vectors to the RNAV approach for runway 29 at Eduardo Gomez International.
Let's try this again.
Heading 123 Victors to the NAF approach for runway 29 Azure 4102.
123. Yeah, I mean way around is what they're doing. Yeah, that was fucked. It was weird. We were on a glide slope, and then I'm not sure. I think I might have pulled power away from it too soon, or something like that, because clearly at that point it was no longer happy with us, and like it pulled us off the glide slope, so it never took us down. It started taking us down properly and nicely, but then it stopped. So we'll go around. Pretty much going to ignore ATC or something, I think. I'm just going to manually do this. I can see the runway. I'm just going to fly this as a visual approach. I really got to learn how to manage speed in this aircraft. It is not easy. I'm trying to keep it from climbing too much, and I'm trying to keep it from speeding up too much. Look, there's the Amazon rainforest, if you've ever wanted to see it. Actually, this is the Amazon River, though. I do know that much. I did read that, so that's pretty cool. I should have used speed brakes, probably, to slow down. Managing speed in this aircraft is difficult, to say the least. See, there is a published go-around procedure that I should be flying, but I'm just going to fly my own here. But that was kind of cool that I could actually tell pilots at ATC that, hey, I need to go around. And they were going to vector me around properly. We're just going to do this on visual approach. Let's see if we can actually ask for that. Azul 4102, request visual landing on runway 28.
4102, this is Manaus Control on 119.25. Please repeat your request.
Okay, no, we cannot. Okay. That's alright. We'll just do this sort of in a downwind leg here. Flying at a pretty precarious
4102, climb and maintain 2,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 2,000 feet Azul 4102.
Azul 4102, turn right heading 108.
Heading 108 Azul 4102.
Azul 4102, expedite climb to 2,000 feet.
Expedite climb to 2,000 feet Azul 4102.
Azul 4102, cancel IFR.
Azul 4102, roger. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Enjoy your morning. Azul 4102, contact tower on 118.3. Have a good morning.
Tower on 118.3 Azul 4102. Tower Azul 4102 at 1,200 feet.
Azul 4102, good morning. Squawk 1200.
Might have lost visual on the runway, which is annoying. Azul 4102, request clearance to land.
Azul 4102, roger.
Just take that as a yes. I think there's our runway. This is not ideal. These passengers are not going to be super satisfied with this landing. I lost sight of it, so I totally overshot.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low, 100.
50, 40, 30,
Too low,
20,
flat.
10.
Oh, come on, fatal again. We bounced it again, Jesus. If it wasn't for that bounce, it wouldn't be that bad. This thing is a pain in the ass to land, man. It's tough to land this plane. One of these days.
Report runway 5 right inside.
One of these days.
Roger that, United 1088.
Set it on fire now and go home, yeah. Basically. It's hard to manage the frickin' speed there at the end. I have a hard time getting it to, like, it was at a decent speed, but then it just drops out of the sky at some point. I'm not entirely sure why. Might have to watch another, see if I can watch another video or two on how to do this approach better. The other thing too is that since I'm not flying this in VR, it is actually quite a bit more difficult to judge that stuff for some reason, like just to eyeball it. It's much more difficult than in VR, where you get a much better sense of the depth perception. Having the minimums and all that stuff set up though did help, because it did make it a bit easier. It was annoying because it kept telling me low terrain, but we were actually too high for our landing, so we were a bit high again on that second one. The main problem with the go-around approach was really though that I never got lined up properly. I should have gone a bit further. That's all right.
3035 for 5 right, United 1063.
I will still take it. I'll pretend that that was decent enough. We'll pretend nobody got fatalized. See, the way I see it, like, that fatal landing, that's just a landing rate monitor. It's not the game itself. That's a little add-on. That's the one that tracks my flights and keeps history of that. The simulator itself decided that we did not blow up on any of these. Like, you know, otherwise the screen goes black and you hear this, like, sound where, you know, it's very clear that shit's gone wrong. But that didn't happen. So as far as I'm concerned, we'll just, if we ignore that other thing, we know that that was a very rough landing. But
slow to minimum clean airspeed, Delta 481.
We'll get it one of these days. I'll get it. The next flight does see us leave Brazil. Maybe that will help. Maybe the problem is Brazil. And nothing seems broken. Like nothing. Everything was fine. It's just not. This is the problem though. Like the autopilot in this airplane, there's something buggy with it. Leafs have a lot to live up to tonight. You have to fly around and crash land, and that will be tough to beat. I'm not going to sing a song. I will give the Leafs a fighting chance by not singing a song. I think the go round was actually kind of fun. Because that was better. Because if I tried to put it on the tarmac at that point, it would have actually killed us. The sim would have determined that that was not going to work. So this last one, you know, was better. Again, I used more of the runway than I usually do, but I still could have. I have so much more time than I think I do. And that was quite obvious by the fact as how far we had to roll at the end of it just to get off of it. So we had a lot of runway left to go. I could have tried to adjust it, but I have to figure out what the... Gotta look into what the throttle should be, because I keep making a mistake, and this is apparently a very basic mistake, that you think less throttle means less speed, but that's not really the case. Slowing down has more to do with the pitch of the aircraft, so if you pull up the nose, you slow down. Throttle has to do with whether or not you climb or not. And so my mistake is I cut the throttle basically because I want to slow down, but really all that's doing is it's making me fall down belly flop on the runway. Which of course is terrible. Don't want that. And that's what's been happening with this plane. And I guess maybe with some of the, maybe I've always made that mistake, but with some of the other planes I can get away with it, and this one I just can't. That's possible. So we're going to grab ourselves a gate here. We're going to shut down the engines. We're going to let people disembark. We're going to call over the gate. Which is going to be kind of fun. Let's see if I can quickly fire up Pushback Express again to make that happen. See, like my throttles aren't idle now, and this thing still goes. So I think I make very easy beginner mistakes there that I can work on. I will tweak them in the future. It will be better. It will not always be fatal landings according to landing rate monitor. It's landing between. Oh, look at that! Oh, it's using the livery. That Iran Air airplane next to us. That's a custom skin that I installed. One of many. That's cool. So like this one here is just a standard fake livery that's got nothing on it really, but there's an actual real life Iran Air Airbus. Cool. Of course it's like inside the gate, but you know, such is airplane life in a simulator. Parking brake on. Let's get the engine's shutter off.
American 1053 back here runway via Delta on Alpha contact ground 121.9er. Good day. Delta on Alpha contact ground, ready.
Fuel pumps off. Hydraulics off. Get all the lights off.
All right. Select crossing the runway on Alpha, contact ground control 121.9er.
Let's get the door open. All the doors open. I think this is the jetway. There comes the jetway. I do love this. Zoop. Awesome. That will do it. We have successfully, well, quasi-successfully, executed a missed approach, a go-around, and a bit of a bumpy landing. But I'll take it. Thanks as always for hanging out, Sean. And I look forward to the next flight where we will finally leave Brazil. I'm not sure if we're going to be flying this plane, and we might switch over to a to the CJ4 again. We'll see. Even though I kind of want to give this plane another shot. It depends on the airport where we're flying to. If it has a reasonable approach, we'll use this plane. Till next time, have a good weekend. Tomorrow, I'll be driving a bus. See ya.